Hi, Scott Killen here from Monstars MMA in association with Fight Book MMA. We're going to go live with Melissa Mullins. We just had a few technical issues, so we're going to try and get them sorted. Hopefully it works. Melissa fights Charlotte Cooper in October on the UKFC card. So we're going to see how things are going. Talk all things lockdown. Hey.
Is it working? No. Oh my god. Right, my partner's just got in, so I'm going to use his phone. But we can carry on for now, and then I'll join back in on his phone, and then go from his. So, hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How's things treating you during lockdown?
It's not working. It's good. Because this isn't working. Look. It was very slow, and at the start it wasn't good. I was very against lockdown. I didn't enjoy the fact that lockdown was a very, what do you call it, forced situation.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that it stopped me and the type of people that do what I do, doing our sport. So, and it physically stopped that. It forced it, and everyone had to kind of start to listen, and it became just very tedious, and it wasn't enjoyable.
And I suppose it's a bit harder for you as well. Obviously, you teach kids gymnastics and things like that as well. So, not just on the MMA side, but general life, it's a bit harder for you.
Yeah, exactly. So my job is obviously stopped. I'm requesting you via my partner's phone now, by the way. Don't know if you can see that, and then I'll come off this one.
I don't think it'll let me whilst we're on one, but
Let's do this. I'll switch over. You ready?
Yeah.
Leave.
There we go.
Boom!
Yeah,
It worked!
that's better.
I'm back. Hi.
Yeah, so
Sorry about that.
as you were saying, obviously it stopped you doing your job and things like that. So for you, I suppose almost pretty much everything stopped.
Yeah, literally everything. I think the only thing that didn't stop was dog walking, which was a regular part of my routine. But I thrive off of a routine, so literally everything stopping. And even now, like, we're one of the last things. I'm doing nothing physically right now apart from a few PTs that isn't my job, but I'm just doing it so people can exercise, and so I've got something to do.
Yeah, I've seen you start doing a few PTs and things like that. Is that just obviously, like you said, to keep people active, keep you active, and stop you really from going crazy?
Yeah, pretty much. Nobody that I currently coach is a so-said competitive fighter. Some of them do jiu-jitsu competitively at lower level at the moment, but at the moment it's just ladies and some children just getting into it, kind of getting them interested in doing what I do, and they enjoy it.
Yeah, I've seen you've been doing your gymnastics classes through Zoom and things like that. So that must be, it's kind of what we have to adapt how things are, but you're still getting something done.
Yeah, so my boys that I teach, they normally train 10 hours a week anyway in gymnastics. So for them to almost do exactly what's happened to me, go from something to nothing, you're going to go back, and you're not going to have that integrity to be able to do what you want to do, and you're not going to have the memory or the confidence. So just keeping them strong and fit. And to be fair, what we've done on Zoom, you can see massive improvements in just their basics.
Yeah, and I suppose with kids as well, it's kind of hard. Like, in a way, you have to keep them interested and things like that. So if they had 3 months of not doing it, they might not come back afterwards as much as they love it and things like that. Kids get distracted very, very easy.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. So the guys that I teach, I've told them it's kind of imperative that they have to do the live sessions, more so than them not being able to do the skill. But for example, for the guys that are doing the sessions, they're going to come back with so much confidence and so much poise and that little advantage, where if the boys that aren't doing it come back, they're going to feel so much like at a disadvantage, and then they're going to feel in their head that they're not good enough, and effectively it will affect their well-being when they haven't been practicing, because they're not at that level. They get that still like the other boys will be.
Yeah, it's weird, and like you said, that they have to kind of keep doing it to keep their routine, keep them active, and then so when they go back, it's not like they're starting back from the beginning.
Yeah, that's pretty much, and it's the same with adults, I guess, as well with their MMA. That's why everyone's tried to carry on best that they can.
Yeah, I feel like when we go back to the gym, it's going to be back to almost back to the start.
Yeah, well, our gym's actually opening on Monday, not like inside. We're doing outdoors, following the guidelines as best as we can. But obviously that's not going to be good enough for what I do at this present moment, because there will be such limitations. So I'm just training with my partner, James. He's gone out there. He pads me. Then I have a friend over, Sophie Luxton. We train together twice a week at the moment. But shout out, she's got a new job. Congratulations.
So yeah, is it beneficial for you, obviously, like to have a partner that holds pads for you and things like that? I know it'll keep you on the straight and narrow and say to you like, oh, we need to go do pads and do this and do that.
Yes. I was explaining in a previous podcast that before it would almost be very whiny and unappreciative of what I have at home. I wouldn't listen to him. I would say no. I would get in a grump. I'd walk away from the session. To now, like literally being excited for pads and enjoying what he's teaching and listening and learning from him, which is what I didn't do before.
Yeah, so your fight you've got coming up against Charlotte Cooper is in October. When you accepted the fight, how did you think you were going to prepare for it, knowing with the lockdown and things like that, knowing that if it goes on another month or two, that you'd only have a month of as such a full fight camp?
So we actually, as you probably already know, we were matched up before the fight, and then we were rematched during lockdown for when the fight got reconfirmed. Before the lockdown, before the fight was cancelled, we were just game. We were just going to fight no matter what the circumstances were. We were just talking about making sure that we had the right training in, not knowing what that training was going to consist of. And then obviously the fight got cancelled because of the same situation for everybody. But then being rematched, it was kind of all systems go. And for me, I had to arrange a timetable to kind of A, be organised and motivate myself, and B, have that regular training, because you can't say, yeah, I'm going to train today, because it's likely that you won't. And that's personally for me. Obviously other people, other means. So I made sure that at this present moment I'm getting as much consistent pads in with James. Like, he's my MMA coach, so he plans what we need. And then trying to get the right bodies to train with, as well as more mentally researching stuff now, which is something I never did before.
Yeah, is this kind of like a time where you'd study more tape and try and think of, oh, I could do that better, or I can do this, and kind of like, in a sense, review your own sort of style and your past fights and things like that, and look into them a lot more than what you normally would if the gyms were open and you were doing a full fight camp in the gym?
Yeah, so one of my main things was I will throw a combination and then I might be lazy coming back off that combination, or I might go in with, like, I don't know, a kick and then land flat-footed. So there's some of the things that we've been looking at during this period. Having a lot more one-on-one time as well with James has definitely cleaned up a lot of mistakes. I think being in there is just gonna. I can't expect. I don't know what to expect until in there. I mean, I'm trying my best for everything that I'm doing. However, what to expect, we don't know.
Yeah, and like you say, you can't really expect something different to what you're doing, because obviously she'll probably be doing similar to what you are with the same situation. So it could be a hesitant thing from both of you, like, oh, do we do this? Do we do that? You can't really set on a real game plan. apart from your own.
Yeah, and that's pretty much like IMAF. Like the IMAF experience is you have no idea who you're going to fight until the night before the fight, and then like you just have to prepare your mind more so and use everything that you know to your best ability within that time. Kind of round by round is where you make those adjustments. You go to what you know best and then you work from there.
Yeah, speaking on the IMAF, is it something you're going to look forward to doing again, or?
I want to. They're very expensive. I mean, it was a big ask trying to get to the Worlds. However, if I could go there, I will. But the plan is now, after this fight, will be professional debut. My management will fight are trying to either get. I think they're in talks currently with Cage Warriors. I think. I've asked eventually for Invicta or One Championships, but obviously that is a long time down the road. Who else have they? Oh, Bellator have been in contact, but at a heavier weight class. So I want to get down to the weight class that I normally fight at, because I want to be at the best. I don't want to be a sort of a pawn. I want to be a queen on a chessboard, you know. So I'll take that slow and make not the demands, but I'll make the pathway rather than just step into something because it's offered. If that makes sense. Yeah,
you know what you're worth, and you want to get that instead of just being there to make up the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
So how did the decision come about to have this as your last one and then go pro? Obviously, this one's for a title as well. So if you win this one, you win the title, and then you're gonna essentially vacate it to go pro.
This will be my 10th fight. I'm 29 this month. I don't want to sound like I'm not being modest or I'm not being humble, because I am completely humble within my sport. But I'm a strong female. All of my wins come via knockout or TKO. My losses are through dodgy decisions or a split decision, through also my own mistakes. Like I could have done more in those fights. I'm ready to fight pro. Pro is no different to how I am as an amateur. However, I need that new challenge. You know, if I want this to be a career, I can't stay at amateur. And if I want to progress and I want to go to One Championships, which is the ultimate platform, I can't stay as an amateur. I need to get known. I need to put my talents on bigger platforms. And hopefully someone sees it and it expands, you know?
Yeah, you said you've had 10 fights. Do you think there's sort of any limit to how many fights you should have or that you think you need to have before you turn pro?
Well, a lot of Americans just go straight into their professional sort of careers. So, for example, UFC, how many English female fighters do you know in the UFC at this present moment? A handful, you know? Bellator, a handful, and from Ireland as well. So the American roster for female fighters professionally, if you look at their like Tapology records, they're all amateur, no amateur, straight professional, no amateur records. So I think it literally depends on the person and if you're ready. I mean, in the UK, there is that pathway for amateur fights building up into the professional platform. And before even I went amateur, I was doing interclubs. So I've kind of gone through that pathway of interclub, amateur, now professional. I don't think there is an answer to your question ultimately. I think it just happens when you want it to happen. I don't think it should be held out for too long because the platform is building and females are getting stronger. And eventually, if you're not good enough and you don't make enough noise, you will start to sort of dilute yourself within the crowd.
Yeah, like you said, it's not sort of one of them things where you can put a mark on it. I mean, people like Jose Shorty Torres had 20 amateur fights and then went, I think it was like 6-0 as a professional, and he was double IMAFs and things like that. And we've seen Mohamed Mokayev, 23,
Yeah.
It's 23 or 24. Yeah,
I think
23.
it's 24.
Yeah, 24
Okay.
amateur fights, obviously undefeated, double IMAF champion, and is now turning professional as well. And with that, like you said, he's making enough noise, so he's now got a huge contract with Brave. And over there, it's massive at the minute. The fans that they pull in and everything like that. It's one of the promotions that's coming through and making some real noise.
Yeah, we got to watch when we was in the IMAF in Bahrain. We got to watch the Brave show that was on at that present time. And I've been to shows, but from the prelim card up to the main fights, the stadium was full. People were sitting on like the barriers that slant in the crowds. People were sitting in the stairwell. You couldn't move. Whereas I've been to UFC and the one when it was in London, and the crowd built up slowly. So you're 100% right. Like Brave is a big platform to go onto.
Yeah, with you saying about the crowds as well, I was in Liverpool when Paddy Pimblett fought Soren Back, and there was only, I'd say at least probably 800 people there during the prelims, and it only started getting full until the main card, and they were only there for 25 minutes because they didn't even wait to find out the decision.
It's the crowd, isn't it? They don't want to get caught in the traffic.
Yeah, but I know you're looking forward to this one, and you're gonna try and train your best you can and put on the performance you can to go out the amateur scene with a bang.
Yeah.
As always. So I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a pleasure as always talking to you.
Thank you.
If you've got any shout outs or anything you want to do, then fire away. Okay.
Shout out to my partner, James Dixon, for being such a supportive partner and a great coach. Shout out for Vigor 8. They're helping a lot of amateur and professional athletes within the scene. Shout out to my coach, Josh Merritt, for helping me with my fitness side of things and really putting the details in. And shout out to anybody that started their business back up. Well done to everybody that's like just got out there and put their all into everything that they've always lost out on. And well done for everyone for training and doing the best that they can.
Good stuff. Just want to give 2 quick shout outs to Fight Fuel. Go and check them out for everything, supplements, everything, shakes, the lot. Use discount code MONSTAR15 and excess mouth guards for keeping your teeth in your mouth and always keeping you pretty.
All right, amazing. Thanks very much. Shout out to all you guys and have a good day, Scott.
And you. I look forward to watching you fight in October.
Thank you. I look forward to it too. Bye.
Cheers, bye.